keeping a secret from you guys.
We're about 20 minutes in.
So I've been keeping a secret from you guys, and now my family probably already knows this next point. I might be the world's biggest curmudgeon. Officially, the world's biggest curmudgeon. Like I said, my family already probably knows that, but you know, we've officially moved way past the get off my lawn stage, you know. We've moved to the point where I bought my neighbor's house so they couldn't even use their lawn. Now, obviously that is not the entire reason we bought it, but that honestly, big part of the reason. This house right here, you've probably seen in past videos, just in the distance driving by and stuff. It looks really ugly there now. Before I show you the current state, I'll take you through what it was before, at the state that it was when we bought it.
Now, I filmed a whole detailed tour of exactly what the house was, but I live in a small town, and out of respect for the previous owner, out of respect for the previous tenant, I'm not going to show you guys too much detail of all what the house is in its current state when I purchased it. Even though I am absolutely thrilled to own another property, an investment property, of course our original house is an investment property as well, but to own an actual like second property to be an investment is the proximity of the two homes. This deck that I'm standing on attached to this house, I'm on second house property there. I'm back on my own property right now. Property line runs exactly to the edge of the deck here. You can see the amount of space between the two. But I have a sale for this hot water tank here. It's a decent working hot water tank. You know, I paid quite a bit for this house, for this area, for it to be a complete teardown. I knew that, of course, when I purchased the house, but still, it's a little bit of a sore spot. So even though the house is kind of junky and not up to my standards and not worth me repairing, I would rather build something here. It still makes sense, or there's still a lot of good things in here that can be sold or used. There's several new windows, there's several new doors in the house, the hot water tank, there's a good vanity, there's a fridge and kitchen range up there in the house. So the more that I can sell, the more that I can go into paying off this beauty or paying for the excavator and dump truck to come here to tear it down, those types of things. So got a sale for the hot water tank. Already have a sale for the big picture window upstairs. Dad's taken one of the exterior doors. I think Dad's taken the front patio, which is newer. So just here to unhook this now. I don't have any way of getting heavy equipment behind my house, which is a big negative. You can never get up there with an excavator to fix anything or to dig a trench if you had to, any ditching. So that'll be fixed forevermore. I'll be able to fall these massive trees here then, straight back across that land. So they're blocking my view. So of course there's my property, which heads right on to this property. This is the current state of the house. This is how it is at the day that I'm filming this video that you're watching here right now. You can see it's a lot of components have been stripped. Picture windows sold, a couple small windows here are sold. This door has moved on as well. All the non-load bearing walls have been removed. This is a brand new door and a new window, keeping both of those from my shop. And just last night, that big soaker tub sold there that I showed in an earlier clip. Big soaker tub sold, so me and Dad ripped it out last night. So a little backstory on this house. This house is probably around 60 years old from the data that I can gather. Now here's where it gets interesting. When
my mother was pregnant with me, this was our home. This was the house that my parents owned. They didn't build it, but we lived here. My two older brothers that were already in the world, my parents lived in this house, and obviously wasn't quite as old at that time. It was roughly 30 years old. While living here, my dad cleared the plot of land and built their brand new home next door, built it himself. And once built, once they moved out there, they sold this piece of property for a heck of a lot less 30 years ago than what I paid for it now. But the house has existed here all that time. My parents have lived happily next door. So it's kind of an interesting take on it, being able to buy back a house that my parents sold quite a few years ago. Still a little bit sore comparing what they sold it for and what I bought it for 30 years later. Of course, that's what happens to property. And that is one of the reasons we bought it, of course, as a business investment. So there are a few reasons we purchased this property. For one, we don't have a ton of land over there, although our land goes backwards infinitely almost. Now some of you might be wondering why we didn't buy it as a business investment to rent it for a while, because it was a rented property. Who I bought it off was renting this property, but not something I wanted to do at this point. The house is really old. The house has a lot of problems. It's just not something that I personally wanted to rent out. So the house itself here is almost a dead loss. I paid the price to buy the house and property here, basically just to get the property. I've had an older gentleman here now for about 2 weeks. He's working on scrapping a lot of it, in turn doing a bunch of work for me. So taking out all my windows and my doors and helping me move stuff around here. We're parting out what I can. Like I said, we've sold several windows, the tub, sold the hot water tank, some flooring here was half decent. I believe someone's coming to pick up today. Trying to get everything I can out of it to ease the sting of buying a house just to destroy it. This is the state of this house. It's getting scrapped pretty good. Eventually, when we get to the point where there's nothing left here for me or the guy that I have working here taking apart, once there's nothing left here that we're interested in, we'll bring in the excavator and dump truck and drop it. Now, as you can imagine, there are a lot of things that you could do with a big plot of land connected to your own property. And we could just bull it off, grade it, level it, and have a nice big garden, sow seed, and just have a nice big property. That would be an option. Of course, that's not our plan, and my wife and I have talked a lot, and we do have plans for this property. I'd just be curious, before I ever tell you guys any of that stuff, I'd be curious to hear your ideas. What do you think we should do? What do you think would be the good investment to do with a piece of property this size? Obviously big enough to build this is a nice sized house here to build a house on, connected right next door to my property. What do you think we should do with it? I'd love to hear your suggestions. Maybe you'll suggest something. Like I said, we're pretty settled on what we're going to do, but you guys might suggest something that I've never even considered. So hopefully you'll throw an interesting wrench in the mix. But this is officially the biggest project I've ever taken on. $10 a piece for those tees. Of course we're taking them. Everything we can get. Anyone wants to buy a washer here? Let me know.
Underground. Shouldn't he?
Do you in?
Yeah.
You don't have a hair.
Oh yeah. They're going at the same time, aren't they?
So it's a chilly, damp fall day here, and you can see that the house is looking a lot different than it did this summer. Now everything that has been valuable to someone has pretty much been scrapped. The wiring, the electrical panel, the windows, the doors. If you remember, the older gentleman that was here working took a ton of inch board and paneling and all kinds of stuff. The appliances that were in it have all been sold or given away. It's looking ugly there now. We're just getting ready. The excavator is coming in 2 days' time. Dad and brother are coming, and she's coming down. Now, about 2 months has passed since I first talked to you and first introduced this project. So I've just been collecting the bits of footage because things are happening slowly over time. But in that video, I was fairly certain what I was going to do with this house. And now everything's changed. The plan that I had at that date is not the one that I have now. We'll see how you guys guess in the comments here. Now, for most of the supplies that have been taken from here by the couple people that have taken stuff, I haven't asked anything for it because, honestly, it's a help to us. Less trips to the garbage dump, less to excavate here. The fact that the entire roof is gone off of this thing, it makes a big difference for us now deconstructing, which you're going to see is coming on now in the next scene. Hey?
Does all work.
Yeah. Dan also grabbed everything. Dad's just putting a shot of grease in the excavator there. All the loose ends are tied up. I was out there until after dark with the flashlight last night, capping off the water and sewer lines. I decided to go a little bit different route, and I've got it all buried for the winter. It's late fall now. We're not going to do anything with it this year, so if we can get that water line down below freezing level, then it's fine to sit for the winter. Same thing with this sewer, although sewer doesn't need to be below freezing. So we're all set, just waiting for brother, the operator, to show up. Dad's here in the dump truck, and we're about to get to it.
Demolition now so we can better load it into the dump truck. "25 minutes in, about to start load. It's about to bring the dump truck over. Now I got some land there.
A few years. At least a tree.
You know firewood, that's our firewood for the year.
Yeah.
Hey, wow, what was that? into some problems with the excavator today. So we ended up excavating all the garbage, all the house, everything is done in that manner, but we didn't get to form up a piece of land or clean anything up. So we're gonna have to get another excavator brought in. We got to follow those big spruce today, and we have a piece of land. Looks like you're about to walk off the edge of the earth over here. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I hope you're making plans like this of your own. Maybe not necessarily buying another piece of property, but maybe buying property. The idea to grow and expand, to not remain stagnant, to push for more, whether that's learning a new skill, taking up a new hobby, creating or inventing something, getting your life in order, organizing your workshop, organizing your cabinets, all these little things, right up to buying a property and things that are so much more grand, all come down to just not settling, wanting more, wanting to build, do, create more, and offer more in most cases, because that's what it allows you to do. Thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Your guys' support, your continued viewership, your financial support through purchasing the items that I create and offer really helps me build a life like this that my family and I can enjoy and that we can share with you all. So I thank you so much. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe if it's your first time here, leave me a comment down below and let me know what you think we should do with this piece of property.